Hello, and welcome to another episode of Mine Planning Matters, a podcast where we talk about where the industry gets it both right and wrong when it comes to mine planning and mining engineering. This podcast is not just for mine planners, it's for everyone who has anything to do with mine plans, from those who create them, to those who execute them, and all the way up to those who endorse or sign off on them. My name is Mark Bowater, Director and Founder of Australian mining consultancy Insignia Mining, and I speak from experience, having been involved in mine planning for over 30 years. Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 10 of Mine Planning Matters. Wow, episode 10 already. It does seem like I only just started. Today we are going to continue on with the stories from people involved in the mining industry, and the first cab off the rank in the stories is going to be Caitlin Matheson, who's one of our team members in Insignia Mining. And so welcome, Caitlin. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and then fire away with your story.
Hi Mark, thanks for having me on today to share my story. A little bit about myself. My name is Caitlin Matheson and I'm a mining engineer. I studied at the University of Queensland and I have over 13 years of industry experience. I started my career working as a consultant in short, medium and long-term planning roles across various open-cut coal mines in Australia. I then spent close to 10 years working in oil sands mining over in Alberta, Canada. For the last 4 years, I've been leading mining and tailings projects. The story I would like to share today is focused on the importance and power of collaboration, building authentic team relationships, and being open to trying new ways of working. This story took place about 8 years ago when I was working as a long-range tailings planner in Canada. One aspect of my role was to build design layers for all of the sequential steps involved in tailings dam lifts. There were dike raises, beach above slopes, beach below slopes, and so on. This life of asset work involved a lot of repetitive projections and offsets for each 4-metre lift of an overall tailing structure which had at least 8 raises. I then had to create triangulations and surfaces for each element and manually calculate volumes between certain layers to know volumes for different material types within each lift. A lot of repetitive steps. These volumes were then incorporated into the long-term tailings model as part of the annual planning process. This was a new tailing structure and the final tow location was still being determined based on updated geotechnical information and overall tailings volume requirements. This meant that the already iterative process was being repeated every time the toe of the dike needed to be moved. Now, that's all the technical background out of the way, and this is where the fresh perspective and collaboration comes into play. Each day, our long-range planning team had a CCC meeting: camaraderie, communication, and collaboration. This CCC meeting was a brief daily touch point for the 6 of us to understand each other's current tasks, challenges, wins, and failures. Our team fostered an authentic and open culture where we were free to speak at ease with each other. And when a new student joined, they were quick to hear about the successes and frustrations of our group. In hearing my updates about needing to rerun the tailings design work for the umpteenth time, he boldly asked if he could have a crack at writing a code to automate all of these repetitive steps, including calculating the volumes and exporting them into Excel tables. He was a budding gamer and enjoyed writing gaming scripts in his spare time whilst doing mining engineering at university. This student spent a few days learning the tailings planning process and the nuances of the mine design software we used, and then he wrote a script that was able to complete 2 to 3 days worth of rework solely from the input of the new dike tow string and about 30 minutes of processing time. While at first I thought he might have made me redundant, I was quick to thank him and ask his permission to share this new process more broadly with other mine planning groups. Over the students' time with us, his fresh take on the capabilities for automation within our mine planning tools were able to be used in various other areas, face and dump designs that had consistent batter angles and bench requirements, short-term tailings designs, and improvements to the auto-scheduling rules and logic that was being used. My takeaways from this experience are around the value we all got from our close-knit team culture. Without that, this opportunity may not have arisen. The importance to step back and gain a fresh perspective rather than repeating work a certain way simply because that is how it has always been done. And finally, on the value of being willing to learn from others, whether they are new to industry or if they are experienced subject matter experts. This love of collaboration and developing new ways of solving problems is likely what led me to love working on multidiscipline project teams, and I hope to continue learning from others for many more years to come. That's all from me today, and thanks again for having me, Mark.
Thanks for listening to Mine Planning Matters and my thoughts on mine planning. This podcast is for the benefit of the mining industry, and that's you. So I'd love to hear from you through the comments section, and please feel free to let me know any topics you'd like discussed in future episodes. You'll find much more content at our Insignia Mining website, and if you find any of our content valuable, please let your mining colleagues know so they can benefit as well.